being the best at school or at academics, it's not a guarantee for a perfect job here in Nigeria. If your father does not have a name and your God is not that potent, post NYSC and after law school, I sent a job application to a law firm for the position meant for a fresh graduate, and I got turned down just because I had no experience. Fresh graduate, no experience. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. It's Z here again. We're discussing life after university, depression, job application, my experience so far. This is a topic that most Nigerians don't want to talk about because it's very disheartening and very frustrating. But we'll get right into it. So post-university, post-law school, graduating from the university with a 2-1, law school with a 2-1. I did my NYSC in one of the best places you could do your NYSC here in Nigeria. Like, a lot of top law firms are going to want me. I'm going to get a job straight after NYSC. I don't even have to go into the labor market. I was in the favor market. A month after NYSC, I didn't have a job. I had sent applications upon applications, but how am I supposed to get the experience when you're not letting me work? When you're not going to give me that opportunity to like showcase what I have? I'm just off law school, 2-1, 2-1, so I should have something in my head, innit? But that wasn't the case. Oh God. So the very first advice I'm going to give to anyone here: Nigeria is frustrating when it comes to job application for law undergraduates or those who are still in law school or people who just want to study lawyers. Would be to get experience through internships. Get yourself attached to a firm as an intern even from your first year in the university. A lot of good firms have taken interns who have vacations. I remember that most private universities have summer vacations for like 3 months, 2 months, or even a month. Choose 3 or 4 law firms that you finally want to end up in later on in life, and then that you intern at those firms at one point or two in your life, and whilst you're there, try to do something that you'll be remembered for, something good, obviously, if you want to come back there and be a staff of that organization. It's easier to get a job or retain that way than being a freshman out of nowhere. Nobody knows you in the firm and then you go apply. I know a lot of people today who are currently working for top paying firms, good paying firms, because they had been an intern there at some point in their life. So the best thing you can do for yourself now is, whenever you have, even if it's just a month of vacation, get yourself attached to a law firm. It's more like laying a foundation for yourself. Look for prominent law firms or good law firms that you want to end up later on in life and start sending in your internship application. The real life is different from what you envisage in your head. So get a hang of it, brace up, and face life. There is nothing you cannot do. So I worked for an organization, and I worked in the recruitment department for I think a week or 2, and in that duration of time I got to realize that it's not about being the best man for the job. If in Nigeria here, for instance, if it's not federal character that is pursuing you, is that someone somewhere has reserved that position, or that something somewhere is biting someone somewhere. So it's not me that's going to tell you what is happening, no, but if you can pray your chaplets, pray. If you cannot pray your chaplets, whatever thing that you believe in, whatever thing that you call on and he answers you, call on the thing and let the thing answer you. The other thing I want to say is that it's not that there are no jobs in Nigeria. It's the fact that I don't know if we should say that most of these jobs have been reserved for some people who are jambites. They've not even smelt the 4 walls of a university. Because sometimes when the need arises, when that person comes of age, you will see them creating offices and positions that you never thought existed, and you're like, oh, there's something like this. And right before your very before it be happening, you'd be like, there's a position like this you didn't know. So if your father does not have a name and your God is not that potent, and I don't know what you want me to say. The next thing I will also say is that while having the first class, second class in the law school isn't the ultimate, yes, it's not the ultimate, because I know a lot of law firms who already on their website you see that they don't accept less than 2-1, but 2-2 third class law school graduates are working there. How they got in, I don't know. Don't ask me. It's not me. It's not from my mouth. You want to come and hear it. Try to get a good law firm at least. By a good law firm, I mean one that has good client base, that they have clients, and not just one you just go sit down from morning to night doing nothing. Get a firm that has a good client base, and then you could go to work, you could go to courts with your senior colleagues, just looking at what they're doing, not necessarily representing anybody. The second thing I want to say is, do not necessarily say no to every offer that comes your way. Hold on. It's not every offer you're going to say yes to. I remember being approached by someone who was working in an oil company then to be like the PA of their CEO or something like that. And I turned it down. And my colleagues then, when I was 7, were like, you shouldn't have done that. It's like, I didn't have a job, but I was turning down a job. How? Why? I was being stupid. I still had that euphoria of after law school, a lot of firms who want me until clear from my eye. So that's actually one. If I could turn back the hands of time, I wouldn't reject that offer. Just go into it first, and if it's not what you want, try getting something else. And the main thing is to save up money, to get the experience, and just to get some savings as well. So whatever opportunity that comes your way, take it in good faith, pray about it, take it and see where it leads you. You never can tell what will lead you to what you're looking for. God might not actually give you that exact door that you need. He might actually need you to go through different gates to get to the very gates that you need to be at. The third thing I would say to anyone is, do volunteer jobs. Yes, that will also help boost your experience level as well. I remember then I was applying to different volunteer opportunities I was getting on Jobberman and all those kind of things. Even teaching job and volunteer works, like volunteer, join NGOs or foundations or non-governmental organizations. Most of them need volunteers and all that. Join them, even if they don't have to pay you. Some of them pay you like just little things, but don't be all about the pay at this point. Be all about the experience to help you, because you already have a goal in mind. The fourth thing I also want to say is, get your CV done. Not like done giving to a professional. If you can pay that amount of money, if you can fund it, fine and good. But even if you can't, you can actually do your CV very well. There are a lot of tutorials here on YouTube to help you boost your CV and everything. But whatever you do, look at your CV from a third party perspective. If I were the employer of labor, if I were this employer that this applicant was writing to, would I want to employ this person? That's what the question you should ask yourself while looking at your CV. Like, if I wanted an employee, would this be my best candidate? Looking at this CV that I have here. So always go back to your CV, updating and extracting as the need arises. That's number 4. I was almost depressed, but usually I try not to get myself depressed, because to me, depression is not a thing. It doesn't exist in my dictionary. But it was crazy. Coming back to reality, I remember my dad sending me money after NYSC, then because I hadn't gotten the job, and I cried that day when I received the alert. Rather than being happy, I cried. That was because I felt like he had done enough, and I didn't want that to be like the norm, where I don't have a job and my dad is still fending for me. No, I didn't want that. Getting depressed, getting frustrated isn't the solution to your problem. no matter how depressed you get, no matter how frustrated you get, the fact still remains that you're unemployed. So what should you do to get out of that unemployment should be your priority, and not getting depressed. Getting depressed isn't sweet. It's not the best thing. You're not the only one who is going through life. So brace up and get out of that phase of your life. Depression is not for you. What you should do is, most times, also self-develop yourself. Take online courses. More like, even if your parents can't fend for your masters at that point, because I remember that a lot of people go for masters not necessarily because they want to specialize at that time. Most people who are currently undergoing a master's degree do not want to. It's because of the circumstances which they found themselves, and luckily for them, they get funded either through scholarship, or their parents can actually afford it at that time, and then they go for their master's degree. But if you're not born with a silver spoon, get yourself, self-develop yourself. There are a lot of online courses you could take and you'll be awarded certificates, and that will also boost your CV as well. Engage in one or two of these courses whilst you're still praying and applying. You never can tell when fate will smile on you. So after a month, I got a job. Yeah, I got a good job, and I'm happy with my job. I'm very grateful. Networking and leveraging on what you have. By what you have, I don't mean selling your body or anything. No, networking. I got my job as well through networking. The people you know, the people you can talk to, the people you can meet. You never can tell who would be able to solve your problems until you table your matter before them. Whoever you think you can come across or you can talk to, even in your current place of work, in your NYSC PPA, place of primary assignment, whoever you can talk to that can help you get a job, fine and good. Just leverage on that. Networking is actually very key when it comes to job search. You never can tell who knows who. That's the thing about Nigeria. You never can tell who knows who that can help you to get to where you're going to. For my Nigerian audience, another thing you can do is ensure that your placement for NYSC is solid, because most times you get retained, or you could get retained after NYSC, depending on how good you work. But I wouldn't advise you to go to a place where they have a policy of no retainership. Most federal establishments and most places have a non-retainership policy, that they do not retain coppers for some reasons, good or bad. But I wouldn't advise to go there. So just look for somewhere good that you know that they can, or you have a 80 to 70% chance of being retained after NYSC, so that way you don't have to labor so much. Even peradventure you find out, or you turn out not to like the place because of the environment or the people there, if they're toxic and all that. But like I would always say, hold on to what you have first while looking out for something else. But that way you have a job, you have some savings, and then God willing you get a better place, then you can leave. But during NYSC, just try, do your possible best, or do all you can to get a good placement where you can actually get retained. And because I know a lot of people, a lot of Nigerians here got their first jobs through their NYSC retainership. It's possible, it's true, it happens. So do not look for somewhere that they pay so much and then they don't retain. Go for somewhere that even if the pay is not so much, but at least they'll retain you. Getting your first job within your first year is actually a good start for anyone, regardless of how much you're being paid at that time. Getting a skill or two as well during that period, during that waiting period, pending when your dream job comes your way, isn't a bad idea. At least you get something, you get to go out, you get the network I'm talking about, you get to go out, meet people, and also get a few stipends as well. Get like little stipends, get little money, also meet people. You never can tell where your helper would come from. That's another advice. Staying at home doing nothing wouldn't get you that job.